Hi, it's me, Kean Carlisle. Today I'm gonna walk you through 50 absurdly obscure facts about Transformers Animated. Number 1. At the end of Endgame Part 2, Megatron is strapped to what the script describes as a high-tech hand truck. However, it seems the animators simply reused RC's medical gurney from the previous 2 episodes and hoped no one would notice. 2. A monitor in Home is Where the Spark Is shows a moment from the previous episode, Transform and Roll Out Part 3, as Optimus hangs from a blimp. Surprisingly, this is not reused footage from that episode, but an entirely new visual created for this one. He had the Allspark held above his chest in Rollout 3, whereas it dangles below him here. 3. Blitzwing's robot mode back view is consistently drawn incorrectly in A Bridge Too Close Part 1. In Three's a Crowd, the assembly plant where Bulkhead finds Mixmaster and Scrapper is on the exact same street where Lockdown parked his ship in the first 2 seasons. Several real-world locations from Detroit appear in the series, such as Grand Circus Park, Michigan Central Station, the Wayne County Building, and the Renaissance Centre. Sumdak Tower is seen in the background behind the latter 3, a geographical impossibility given the distance between these locations. During the show's production, Jetfire and Jetstorm were described by head writer Marty Eisenberg as Russian/Eastern European circus acrobats. Their characterizations were inspired by Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd's SNL characters, the, quote, wild and crazy guys, end quote.
Jorg, my brother, there will certainly be a lot of swinging in our bachelor pad tonight. Hold it, let's catch some rays. You and what army?
Judd Nelson didn't record his lines with the rest of the series cast. He showed up for a private session that lasted about an hour. Despite their characters' romantic undertones in the Generation 1 series, this was Judd's first time ever meeting RC's voice actor Sue Blue, who was now acting as the voice director of Transformers Animated. Due to Transwarped Part 1 meeting its maximum allotted voice budget, perhaps due to Judd Nelson's cameo, Perceptor's voice was provided by synthesized speech, specifically Macintalk Fred, a text-to-speech program included in every Mac machine.
I have developed a taste for human flesh.
Swindle is consistently missing his canon throughout Decepticon Air. When voice actor Jack Angel fell ill prior to BotCon 2011, YouTuber Vangelis arrived to fill in for his handful of characters during the Stunticon Job script reading at the suggestion of art director Derek Wyatt. Derek had previously designed an animated incarnation of Vangelis, revealed during a gag April Fool's post ahead of the 3rd season, and later canonized in the Allspark Almanac 2. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, I need to take care of something.
Be quiet, Kean.
Apologies. I, Kean Carlisle, am back. A gray version of Bumblebee's vehicle mode appears briefly in Transform and Rollout Part 2. Fanzone appears as an extra in Sound and Fury, implying his character sheet was likely lumped in with the incidentals during that episode's production. Bumblebee is the only main Autobot without black lines beneath his eyes, leading to constant confusion from the animators regarding how to draw him blinking. While the other characters' optics simply shrink contained within the black void, Bumblebee's blink sometimes reveals black beneath his optic and sometimes reveals gray, with the shape of the eye differing each time as well. Logically, his blink should likely be depicted like this. Early during the show's production, the voice actors recorded a series of grunts and sounds that could be reused and repeated. Since the actors were paid for this session, the show had reign to include these in episodes where various actors weren't otherwise involved. Sumdak's reused gasp is Tom Kenny's only appearance in Survival of the Fittest. Ratchet's reused grunt is Corey Burton's only involvement in Three's a Crowd. Since they didn't record new material for the episodes in question, they are uncredited despite their voices featuring. On that note, Spitor clearly emotes with grunt sounds that were previously recorded for Grimlock. Thus, David Kaye was never credited for his portrayal of Spitor. It's entirely possible he doesn't know he was the voice of Spitor in the show, since he never recorded lines or sounds for that character as their original intention. As observed by Hypernova_076 on Twitter, the Autobot automotive plant seemingly takes heavy inspiration from Detroit's Russell Industrial Center, down to the L shape of the building and the water towers on the roof. In Transform and Rollout Part 1, Prowl doesn't seem to recognize the Allspark after trying to commune with it for 1,000 years. Is he stupid? Straxus and Reflector were designed for a deleted flashback showcasing the Great War in Transwarped Part 2. Despite this, Reflector's wrist is visible for one shot in Transwarped Part 3. In Sorry, No One's Home, Mixmaster and Scrapper guzzle oil in front of Maramba Bros Auto Supply, which is both a reference to the Mario Bros, or brothers, and to frequent episode director and eventual full-time character designer Ireneo Maramba. Ratchet previously lambasted the morality of this establishment in Thrill of the Hunt. According to the Allspark Almanac, Marty Eisenberg drew heavy inspiration from the conflict in the Middle East for the relationship between Autobots and Decepticons. The Season 2 episode, Mission Accomplished, takes its name from George Bush's infamous Mission Accomplished speech, where he seemingly declared the war in Iraq over, only for it to last 8 more years. In the episode, the Elite Guard is insistent that Decepticons pose no threat on Earth, while Megatron gathers his forces in the shadows. Perceptor and Alpha Trion never had model sheets produced for their back views. Despite this, they're drawn consistently across every shot in every episode they appear. Bumblebee's height is depicted wildly inconsistently across most episodes of the series. In some, such as Total Meltdown, he's a full head shorter than Prowl. In others, like Nature Calls, he's very close to Prowl's height. According to series art director Derek J. Wyatt in a live stream from 2020, he performed several uncredited grunts and impact sounds for Nanosec in the episode of the same name. He also depicted the character in the initial test footage. A 4-reference model sheet depicting Ratchet's back beneath his backpack was occasionally accidentally drawn into the show. Despite Jetfire and Jetstorm having plainly visible Autobot insignias on their hip pauldrons, Optimus and Ratchet wholeheartedly believe they're Decepticons during their first encounter. Are they stupid? 2 of the rally cars from Velocity are recolored and reused assets from Total Meltdown. Note the 7 and 14 on the sides of the cars. Oil Slick's armor was originally created as a gift for Twitter user MyUguFace, before it was included in the Stunticon Job comic and Allspark Almanac addendum.
Please help me.
Sorry for the racket in the background. All will be dealt with soon. Carmine Fanzone is named after Chicago Cubs player and Marty Eisenberg's neighbor, Carmen Fanzone. Derek Wyatt based Captain Fanzone's appearance on D.I. Grimm from the Thin Blue Line. Jeff Bennett based his voice on Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue.
1990, tan and white Chevy van a week after that girl's disappearance.
The Protoforms lock down Steels during flashbacks in 5 servos of doom, eventually end up on the Nemesis, where Starscream uses them to create his army. These clones that Lockdown captures during his final bounty hunter job in the series only exist due to the success of his first. While on the run during the 3rd season, the underground cavern Shockwave takes refuge in This Is Why I Hate Machines, is the abandoned Project Omega laboratory seen in Transwarped. These tunnels Ratchet and Fanzone drive down are the very same Ultra Magnus once led Ratchet down when first introducing him to Project Omega. Soundwave spent countless time and effort simulating hyper-realistic bowel movements that Bulkhead's human avatar felt, experienced, and relieved. Marty Eisenberg's cartoon self makes an appearance in this scene. Due to an unfortunate layering error, he's sitting on a child's lap. Not a good look for him. Derek Wyatt once listed Louis Anderson and Gilbert Gottfried as his dream voice actors for Snarl and Swoop, respectively.
You never made it home from that mixer. Those are good gloves.
Hitler had a grandson who was a convicted child molester. Imagine being the embarrassment to the Hitler family.
Many of the street names listed in Transformers Animated directly correspond to real locations in Detroit.
But if you happen to be in the vicinity of Dixon Vernon tonight at 2...
As pointed out by Twitter user FawnsB, Optimus states in Transwarped that Burger Bot is at Woodward and Canfield. In real life, a McDonald's is in that location. In Endgame Part 2, Bumblebee is sent to the moon to find out what the Decepticons are up to, and he somehow fails to notice multiple under-construction Omega Sentinels. Is he stupid? Black Arachnia's character model undergoes changes between Transform and Rollout Part 1 and Along Came a Spider. Some have misinterpreted this as an in-universe change, but that can't be the case due to this flashback from the latter episode depicting her with her current body. The transwarp portals in the series are a simple fractal noise effect in After Effects. It's decently well known that the Triceratops Dinobot Slag was renamed Snarl in Transformers Animated due to Slag taking on a derogatory meaning in UK markets. However, as you can see in production materials such as these storyboards from A Fistful of Energon, he was referred to as Slag throughout the show's production up until very shortly before the show debuted, the change likely occurring early during the production of Season 3. The show reuses one video game controller design throughout the series in multiple episodes with multiple color schemes. Interestingly, Sari and Bumblebee use the Headmaster-colored variation to fly their remote control planes in Megatron Rising Part 1. Bulkhead was never rescued from the ship in Thrill of the Hunt. In fact, he died as the ship crashed. For the rest of the series, he's nothing more than a shared hallucination as the other Autobots struggle through grief and mourn his loss. Wreck-Gar has murdered 17 people. Number 47. Optimus Prime's middle name is Bartholomew. His full name is Optimus Bartholomew Prime. Number 48. Optimus and Sentinel have canonically had gay sex at least 23 times. Number 49. Optimus's wrist cannon is not shooting foam. He sprays this directly into Sentinel's mouth.
Much as you'd love to give me a face full of foam.
Number 50. Elita was truly the linchpin in holding together her polygamous relationship with Optimus and Sentinel. After her apparent death, they found their relationship lacking a spark and made a difficult decision to separate. This being the reason for Sentinel's intense bitterness and the stiflingly hot tension between them in most episodes wherein they interact. Can I let you in on a secret, everybody? I'm Vangelis. Thanks for taking part in the Transformers YouTuber Identity Theft Special. Thanks so much to my friend Kian Carlisle for writing this script and granting me his identity.
Who said to shut the fuck up?
Much better. Now I am truly Kian Carlisle.